Hey team, okay, so we want to get to work here on our spot the difference graphic, and there's a few things we have to do at the start. So we've already downloaded our new image from Pexels that we want to be working on, and we're ready to get that into Photoshop to get it into the same dimensions as that original puppies photo that I had created for you. So we're going to do that now. So let's open up Photoshop, and we're going to click on the Open button. And we're going to open up spotthedifference.psd. So that's that Photoshop document that I've created for you as a template. And once again, when it's loaded here, we'll see our three layers. So our graphics, our original puppies photo, and our puppies photo with our edits. I'm going to double click on the smart object thumbnail of our puppies layer. And that should open up that puppies.jpg image that we've created, which gives us the dimensions that we want. So I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, and I'm going to find that new file that we have downloaded to our OneDrive from Pexels and place it into our document here. Now we're going to use the transforming tools that we have available here. So on those handles, we can click and drag. And if I hold down the Alt button, instead of it just scaling down, it's going to scale down and up from the center. And we'll go until it snaps right to the edges. And then we can click Enter. And if there was something, let's say on the left side of our photo that we wanted to make sure was included, we can drag it over to the right until we find that exact spot that we want. Okay, so if that's what we want visible, that's great. We have it within the right dimensions. So we want to export a new JPEG here. So we're going to click on File, Export, and Export As. And that's going to open up our Export As window. We want to go up to the top right here and make sure our format is set to JPEG. Our quality is as high as it can go. And then we'll click on Export. This is where we want to give it a new file name. So it's not a picture of puppies anymore. So we're going to click on File Name and type in Desert. We want to make sure it's saved as a JPEG. So we'll leave that there and we'll click on Save. And now that we have that, we can close this puppies.jpg window because we don't need it anymore. We don't need to save any changes to the puppies image that we were working on, so we'll click No. And we know that that was created, so now we want to place it in there instead of the puppies. So again, we'll do File, Place Embedded, and now we want to find the desert.jpg. Not the Pexels one that we downloaded, but the desert JPEG one that is resized. We can either double click on it or click once and then click on Place. And it's going to drop that into our document. And again, we want to make sure the sizing is right. So we'll grab the bottom handle. We'll start moving it down. Hold down that Alt button so it scales in both directions until we get to our bottom. Then we can click Enter. Now, anytime we want to make sure something is all the way over to the left edge over here, we can select the entire artboard and align it to that left side. So we can either grab our rectangular marquee tool and make sure we drag it across the entire document. Or the simple keyboard shortcut for that is Control A to select all. Okay, so I'm going to Control A. I'm going to make sure my Move tool is selected. And then I'll get these controls up at the top that allow us to align it. So I want to align all the way to the left. And I want to make sure it's centered height-wise. And now we see it in the proper place. We can do Control D to deselect the image and get those marching ants gone from the outside. And we have our desert pictured there. Okay, so we see the puppies is still here. We can click on that layer and click on the trash can to delete it. We'll click yes, because we don't need that anymore. And now we want to make our desert edit the same way that we have the puppies edit over here. So if I go back to my desert layer and double click on that smart object, it's going to bring us back into the actual desert JPEG. And we want to go to File and Save As because we want to turn it into a Photoshop document. So again, we want to make sure we're in OneDrive go into our ComTech folder, our spot the difference graphics, and we just want to go down here to the file name, and we want to change it to Desert Edits, which is where we're going to be making our edits, and then change the Save As type to Photoshop so that we get it as a Photoshop document. Okay, and we're going to click Save. It's going to save that as our Photoshop document. We can close it for now. And when we get back to here, we want to place it again. So we'll go File, Place Embedded, and this time we're looking for Desert Edits.psd. So again, we can either double click or single click and then place. We want to do the same thing that we did to the other one. So we can grab either the top or the bottom, hold down the Alt button, and let it snap right to the size there. Now we want it to be aligned to the right-hand side, so we're going to do Control A to select all, and we get those crazy marching ants. And this time in our move controls, we want to align it to the right. We'll do Control D to deselect. Now you'll notice it's over top of the spot the graphics, or spot the difference graphics. So over here in our layers panel, we just want to drag it down to where it should be above Puppy's Edit, and then we can actually delete Puppy's Edit because we don't need it anymore. So now we have our desert on the left and our desert edits ready for us on the right. We want to make sure that we save this document. So I will go File and Save. And now you're going to have your spot the difference graphic with your desert pictures or whatever picture you have selected. And we can start to make our differences from there.